Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of Lonely Gods. I am your host, David Reinhardt. This week I'm joined here, as always, by Kate Riley.
Hooray, we're a senior podcast.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 65 episodes. And we're just now to Doctor number 4.
Well, yeah, but there were long seasons at first.
At first.
Yeah, it's only like 20 something episodes now. They used to be 40,
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
close to 50 sometimes, yeah. I mean, I think they're like 25, 26, which is pretty standard for shows in this era, place, time. Yes.
Anyway, so we are here this week to talk about. We are into our very first, uh, oh god, Tom Baker fourth Doctor story, which is Robot.
Are you regretting all that liquor?
No, no, not at all.
Okay.
Why are you?
No. I haven't had liquor today, though.
You should.
I don't feel like it.
It's also all been beer. It wasn't liquor.
Is it alcohol? Then it's liquor. I know that's not correct. I don't care.
So, Robot picks up right where Planet of the Spiders leaves off with the third Doctor fading into the fourth Doctor.
I liked that we're picking up immediately with like no time gap or anything.
I mean, that's how they usually do it. It's very rare where there's a gap,
Well, yes, but I still like it.
and it makes the times where there is a gap that much more jarring.
And straight. Well, yeah, but I mean like War Games and Spearhead had a gap between them, sort of, where we didn't actually see him regenerate, and then he lands on Earth or whatever because he's banished. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess 10th Planet and Power of the Daleks kind of go together, and so does Spiders and Robot. So, right.
Yes. So the fourth Doctor wakes up and is just starts babbling incoherently.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff he says is lines from previous
Yeah,
stories,
which is
but
neat. It's a cool throwback.
hmm. I mean, well, and the Doctor always generally acts pretty fucking loopy right after he refuculates himself. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's pretty much par for the course. I mean, actually, John Pertwee didn't get very silly, but he was very like out of it.
yeah, it was weird because Tom Baker does act really. He acts a lot like. I mean, I feel like this is what David Tennant and Matt Smith kind of based their performances off of.
Well, Tennant said he based his performance off of
A
more of
five.
Peter Davison and also
Yeah,
a bit of Patrick Troughton. But I mean, Patrick Troughton also acted like a fucking goofball right after he regenerated too. So
that's true. But it's um the fourth Doctor looks a lot more like I don't expect him to act so goofy just like by his appearance alone.
really,
With that, I mean not necessarily with the dress. I just mean he kind of has a very like mature face.
I didn't get that at all. I thought like the crazy hair and the giant eyes would be kind of a tip off.
I don't know
But
the Jufro thing like
well, it's the 70s.
yeah, it's the 70s. Like I don't think that's really crazy hair. It was just of the
There
style.
is someone in this story with actual crazy hair and it's awesome.
Yes. Unfortunately, I pointed that guy's hair out to Faith, but she was in the middle of something really important, so she wasn't having any of it. But goddamn, that guy's hair.
Guy's hair is amazing. But anyway, yeah, as for Tom, like maybe it's just by familiarity, but like Tom is as much of a silly pants like in real life as he is as the Doctor. I mean, a, a lot of the times it's the case that the Doctor, is written sort of to the actor, and it's definitely true for Tom Baker. I mean, if you listen to his commentary, if you see him in interviews or anything, he's just a nut bar. So it's it's
Nice.
it's definitely not like a forced, you know, character thing. It's no, he's really silly and probably bang just about anyone you see him on screen with.
Yeah, and it's great. Like he is so charismatic, and even though he kind of conks in and out at times of the story.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I mean, I took to him like a duck to water, but I mean,
Well, I
Tom
didn't mean
Baker's.
like that, but what I'm saying that's a compliment to him is
Hmm.
that he was absent for chunks of the story because stuff kept happening. But when
He
he
just
showed up,
kept
he'd
taking
steal.
naps.
Yeah, he'd steal every scene.
Absolutely.
So what did you think of the robot?
I like the robot design. I think it's cool. It's completely impractical. It wouldn't fucking work in real
It's
life.
really
It's a terrible suit to walk around in. It's not very threatening, but god damn it, I love that design. It's very 50s like B movie sci-fi,
yeah.
and I like it.
So I will go ahead and say I didn't love Robot, but I didn't dislike it at all. Like
Hmm.
Robot felt like what I always thought classic Doctor Who was. Like pretty hard sci-fi trying to go for some sort of like social commentary.
Why
Um
on earth would you have ever thought Doctor Who was like
but
that?
no, but with no but I don't mean like there's still fun, like a ton of fun to be had, but it's like the plot of the episode is about something important kind of, you know?
Yeah.
But
Well, or at
then
least it
with
tries to.
absolutely no budget for what they're trying to do, and that's what the robot. Yeah, that's what the robot felt like. It felt like, yeah, exactly, 50s cheesy, but like,
That's why I mean, like, it kind of reminded me of like the Crotons, only not shitty,
yeah,
or at least shitty in a charming way.
yeah. No, it's definitely shitty in a charming way with its like giant shoulders and tiny legs.
I like it.
And
I
then
think it's a fantastic
and
design.
then when they start using the green screen stuff, I just couldn't. It was
It's.
so great. Just when they green screen Sarah Jane onto a roof and she's like grabbing a pipe that's not there
I
and you
don't
can
know why they couldn't have just built that little piece of set.
I don't know.
I guess it didn't occur to them. I think they must have thought it was like all or nothing or something. I mean, it's pretty early days for that
But
stuff.
like
But
that they
yeah, it's like just
bothered
give
to
her a
have her
real
like,
pipe to hold on to.
that they bothered to have her lean up against that instead of just stand there.
Yeah, and sort of like cup her hand as because there's a pipe on like the chimney, and she's to cup her hand as though it's like going over the pipe. Only it's
They
not.
did
There's
a
no
good
pipe.
job lining it. Like it actually sure you
It's
can tell it's not, but they did a
well,
good job trying to make it look like it.
oh, it's all lined up correctly. It's just the problem is that yellow screen, I guess, was shitty, and you can still see the yellow fringe around everything, so it doesn't like blend right. But
It was better than it's been in the past, but yeah, it still didn't
it's
look.
it's beyond their control.
Yeah, it's literally just technological limitations of the time.
I thought for the most part, actually, the CSO in this story was better done than it was in the Pertwee era. Like, obviously, we're still not really out of the Pertwee era yet. I mean, it's only like the following fucking springs. But I noticed that like when there was more CSO work, most of the time there wasn't a fringe around it. When the robot got big, there was some fringing like at the very end, but like throughout the story, it was mostly like blended better.
Yeah. No, they did a really good job blending it. That's what I noticed that too. Like,
Hmm.
you could obviously tell, like, oh, look, this is CG because one thing is way more in focus than
CG.
the other.
This is not CG.
You know what I meant, green
I
screen.
know.
But yeah, like that's one of the things that I liked about it. It made me think of like, oh, when you think back about cheesy special effects from like way earlier than they should have been used, this is how you remember them, of it looking decent but still obviously like
Mhm.
cheesecake.
Yeah.
And that's what I really liked. It was really charming in all of its dumb special effects. I just found the actual plot a little boring.
Mm, maybe. I think what helps it for me is that it's Tom Baker's first story. Like that's what makes me like it as much as I do. If this had been another Pertwee story like last season, I wouldn't have given a shit
No,
about it.
we would have talked for 5 minutes and that would
We
be
would have
it.
talked for 5 minutes. But the fact that it is a new production team coming in, it's a new lead actor, it's a new season. It feels like everybody is fucking, it might not be the best script in the world, but everybody's bringing their fucking A game for it. And with the injection of new blood, there's like a life and an enthusiasm to the series that hasn't been there in a while.
Indeed.
Like, standard fare in the script aside, I think this is the best story we've had since Time Warrior, like hands down. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it all the way through. Like it might not be anything special, but it moves along really good, and it's just fun. So
I
yeah.
found it a little slower than you did, I guess. I
Hmm.
don't know. I just found the whole it felt like a story we've heard a bunch of times already, scientific community wanting to be better than they are,
But
building.
we saw this last season with the fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah, so I don't know, but it was just the last two episodes did make it way better, especially when they grow and shrink the robot for seemingly no reason, because they fix it like super easy. It's
Because
barely a problem.
well, they do mention earlier on in the first episode or two that it's made of like living metal, which you kind of forget about because the costume is clearly fucking not.
And
But
then they CG that, or not CG, they green screen that foot coming down and crushing that guy.
that was good. That was well done.
Yeah, it was good, except that I could tell it's like, okay, you actually done a really good job about lining these shots up and making this all look convincing. Except I've been seeing Godzilla and Pacific Rim, and it's like if you're a big robot standing, you displace the ground like there. You wouldn't just be like gently laying on top.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he has a crush fetish and he's just doing it slowly to enjoy it. And like honestly,
Yes,
how the
I know.
how the
You
fuck on
couldn't.
earth do you
You
even
couldn't.
expect? No, you couldn't. I mean, there's no way they could have
I
had him
don't know
fucking
why my
displace the Earth.
brain like went there, but it did.
The way that
I still liked it. I still thought, like I said, they did a really good job with what they had.
well, actually, I think you might have been able to actually have him displace the Earth if they had done it differently. I mean, clearly, like the guy getting crushed is out on like the actual location.
I wish we had.
But if they had done it in the studio, you had the guy against the yellow screen and just have the guy's robot foot like smush a model ground, then you could displace the Earth. But I guess time and money and all that.
Yep.
Anyway, you were saying?
I don't know what I was saying.
Excellent. This is a fantastic podcast.
It's been fine. Shut your mouth.
All right.
I really liked the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane's.
They're a very good pair for sure.
Yes, they are.
And I mean when I think back on Sarah Jane's time on the show, uh, I generally picture her with Tom and not with John Pertwee. I mean, she only spent one season with him most of her times with Tom Baker, but I think that they click together better. Like they make a better team and they have a better rapport.
Indeed, definitely.
Not that she was bad with John. It's just that she works better with Tom Baker, and that's not a bad thing. Tom Baker is really fun to watch, and most of the classic Who that I watched when I was a kid was Tom Baker stuff. Well, Tom Baker and onwards, and into the '80s material, but first three Doctors I didn't see much of. So Tom is the one that I'm kind of like already familiar with, for once. And so yeah, I mean the regeneration transition I guess was very easy for me because of that. So I mean Tom Baker had his shit together instantly. He, like you said, he stole every scene. He's just really fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
And it certainly reminds me of Patrick Troughton in that I get the feeling that even in a bad story, he's still going to be good.
Yes, no, he seems like he's going
You
to
know?
be fantastic. I really, he brings so much charm to the screen.
Absolutely, and he just dominates the audience's
Yeah,
attention.
but in a not to say that the other doctors haven't, but it just feels so different. And yeah, Patrick Troughton was goofy, but Tom Baker seems there's just a different edge to it, you know?
Yeah, well, I was talking actually about Classic Who on Facebook the other night, and when I summed up the difference between the two of them is like Patrick Troughton is childlike and he's mischievous, you know, but Tom Baker is completely insane. Like,
Yes, he's childlike, but he's like whimsical.
mm. So yeah. Do you have anything else to say? I have my whole thing of notes, but
No, I want to hear your notes. I didn't take notes this time. I
oh,
forgot.
okay. Well, I was gonna say, as stupid as it was, I like the trying on outfits montage of the Doctor trying to figure out what his fucking costume for this regeneration is gonna be.
The scarf seems so subdued this story.
Are you crazy? You see how long that is? It's down
No,
to the fucking
I
floor.
know it's super long, but I'm used to it being more colorful.
I don't know if it actually gets more colorful. I mean, they might replace the scarf midway through his run because he's on the show for 7 fucking seasons, but that's pretty much I think they might shorten it a bit. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it, I guess.
I don't know. It's just like the way he was wearing it. It didn't seem as like noticeable, I guess.
I'm surprised because they did a lot with it. Like he tried to fucking trip the robot with it. He used it to get people to step on it, and then made them, pull it out from under them and tip them over or whatever. Yeah, he did a fair bit. But
Yeah.
trying on the outfits montage is stupid because he comes out in like a Viking outfit, and then he's like a playing card and a clown, and all you really needed was a Spice Girls track or something because Sarah and the Brig are just looking at each other. Every outfit until they find one they approve of. I seem to remember that David Tennant did something similar, but I don't fucking remember if
He totally did.
he totally did. So, as for his proper outfit, I mean, the hat and scarf are classic, and
Yeah, oh yeah.
the rest of his outfit, I just realized this time watching it, is like he's dressed like a fucking hipster. He's got his little fucking cravat under the scarf and a waistcoat and like shabby fucking pants and I don't know. Bit of a rag bag. I like it, but I've seen people like that around town that aren't supposed to be Doctor Who. So, what else? I have a note here that just says Alexander. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Let's see. Oh, I actually do remember that. Tom Baker mentions when he's trying to fuck off and leave everyone in the lurch, by the way, which I like. Like, you can't leave, we need you. He's like, what? Why can't I go? He mentions visiting Alexander the Great, and he never did that in the show up to this point, but there's the First Doctor
Audio drama.
Lost Story audio in which he does meet Alexander, so that's
Which is so good.
very, very good. That's got to be one of the best First Doctor historicals by far. I also noticed that the robot, they're using video on location shooting, and I don't know if they do it consistently after this, but before you'd have videotape in the studio and then film on location, and they have a different visual quality to them. Film has a lower frame rate, it has a grain to it. Video is very crisp and it moves a little smoother. But this time I noticed that they didn't use film at all, even when they were on location. They're using video. So I don't really know what you want to make of that, but I just noticed it, and it does give the episode sort of like a more consistent visual look because you're not switching, mediums halfway through.
Yeah.
So I actually prefer film, honestly. I don't really like high frame rate, and so video looks sort of cheap and floaty to me. I definitely prefer film, but I mean it's Doctor Who and it's the BBC. I'm not going to get film, so at least they're picking one and sticking to it, I guess.
Yep.
Yep. Um, I was kind of surprised that they were using Bessie still. I don't know why, but in my brain, I felt like Bessie is very much a John Pertwee thing, and it is. But Tom Baker's driving it around a little bit in this story, and I forgot he ever did that. I thought they just kind of let it fucking collect dust, you know.
Yeah, it was weird to see Bessie driving around. I did take note of that.
And yeah, it's definitely like Pertwee's car. It would kind of
Especially because Pertwee had such a weird fascination with vehicles.
exactly. Um, I was almost expecting to fucking catch sight of John Pertwee in the background, fucking with a frowny face, making sure Tom didn't ruin his car or something. Um, I mean, I think I know that Bessie shows up once in a Seventh Doctor story, but it's been in like mothballs forever and a fucking day. But yeah, I forgot all about it being in this one. I know the Who-mobile never fucking turns up again, but like that's John Pertwee's actual fucking personal property that he had custom built for himself. So when he goes, so goes the Who-mobile. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that I can't believe that. That's fucking Who-mobile.
and it flies,
And it flies. Just
and it
pissed right the
flies.
fuck off.
It's beautiful. Um, I guess we haven't really actually talked about what this fucking story is. But yeah, scientists are bad. They think the world should be ruled through like rational scientific means, and so they've built this robot to steal weapons parts out of units to make a bad thing.
To take over the world.
Yeah, I don't.
Dumb.
What I don't get is how like Sarah Jane goes to like their fucking Nazi rally or whatever at the community center, and she tries to get in, and she's talking with a guy about like what their philosophy is, because she's pretending that she'll write an article about it, or maybe she does. I don't know, but uh, she she says something like, the intellectual elite knows what's good for us more than we do. Is that what you're saying? And the guy's like, yes. And he's like, look at those pants you're wearing. That's too provocative. You should be wearing a dress or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with science? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you want like a rational, scientific, fucking atheist utopia or whatever, like, surely you wouldn't care about pants, right?
Uh,
I don't know.
Clearly, it's a hot button issue of the times.
I guess so. Well, I would have thought like in the '60s I might have believed you with like the miniskirt thing, but in the '70s I didn't think anyone would give a shit.
She's a harlot.
She is a harlot. Um, I never suspected Kettlewell actually being in with them though. Who, by the way, he's the scientist that made the robot, and then left the organization or whatever, or pretended to, and he's got crazy amazing hair.
Yes,
Honestly,
he does.
the best hair I've
He's got
ever seen.
basically Albert Einstein hair.
Well, Albert Einstein hair, if Albert Einstein had been playing with one of those fucking like metal ball generator static things, you know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
It was just the best hair. And I guess I don't know. I mean, his performance certainly fooled me. I kind of assumed that he was sort of the kind-hearted crackpot, sort of Doc Brown type guy. I never suspected that he'd be in on it. And even though he is on it, I mean, he's not necessarily, evil right along with them. He's like, shouldn't use my robot to murder people, but
Oh well, gonna do it anyway.
oh well. Oh, Benton got a promotion finally. I was so proud of him.
Yes, yes, he did. It
I
was.
was like unreasonably pleased for him.
I was like, yeah, because Bent shows up and then he kind of disappears again. Then all of a sudden, like, I realized I was like, oh look, there's Bent in the middle of the battle. This is fantastic.
I think I wrote my I think I wrote my notes drunk.
Really?
That's Well, it's like good robot design. Benton got a promotion. The Brigadier fucked up and made the robot big. Good robot design. Benton got a promotion. God damn it.
God damn it, Kate.
The Brigadier did fuck.
He did fuck up and made the robot really big. Not just big, really fucking big.
You know, Tom Baker's antics aside, I think that might be the funniest thing in the story because he gets like the disintegrator gun and he's like, "Ah, fuck you, robot," and then it's big and he's like, "Oh, god damn it." Just the look on Nicholas Courtney's face, he's just so sad.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
understandably so.
Um, so we have a new companion in Harry Sullivan, who we haven't
Yes!
talked at all about.
He shows up and then he gets into the.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was going to be a companion until the end.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to find him rather forgettable. I'm not really sure
Yeah, he's kind of forgettable.
why. I mean, he was the doctor that the brig was on the phone to in Planet of the Spiders, and that actor Ian Marter was one of the people on the like 1920s boat in Carnival of Monsters back in the Diz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and actually he was supposed to be Yates, but he wasn't available, so Richard Franklin became Yates instead, and I guess he waited and became Harry Sullivan. He actually died quite young. I think he was only like late 30s or something. But basically, they wanted to have a male companion again because A, it had been a while, and B, it was because they weren't sure who they were casting. I mean, for all they knew, it could have been an older man again that, you know, like a William Hartnell that didn't want to run around and do all the stuff. But since they ended up casting Tom Baker, who's very much able and willing to run around like a lunatic, Harry kind of ends up a little redundant. And I think that's why people have a hard time remembering him, is because he's kind of extraneous as soon as he's into the show. So,
Yeah. I mean, he's a fine character. He just doesn't seem useful.
well, exactly that. I mean, and he would have been useful if the Doctor had been older again and not able to run around, because he would have been doing all the action stuff like Ian used to do, or even Jamie to a certain extent. So yeah, he's kind of a casualty of casting Tom Baker, and I don't think he's a bad companion. He just ends up with nothing to do, which sucks for him. Well, speaking of casting Tom Baker, apparently one of the actors who was considered to be the fourth Doctor before they found Tom was Bernard Cribbins, who is Donna's in the new series. And as much as I like Tom Baker, I'd be down with Bernard Cribbins as fourth Doctor. That'd be kind of interesting. I want a glimpse into the universe where that happened and just see what it's like.
That would be interesting. It'd be like when you going back and watching the other version of, what do you call it? Back to the Future. Before they recast Marty.
Oh yeah, but they had Eric Stoltz instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bernard Cribbins would be interesting because, I mean, he was in the terrible Peter Cushing movies as well.
I've seen both of those.
Yeah. I says to Dave, don't watch them, they're not very good. And then what does he do? He watched them anyway. I thought you were watching them with riff tracks, though.
I did watch them with riff tracks, so they were fun.
They're just not very good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a couple more notes. Well, just two. When Tom Baker got cast, he was really out of work and fucking down on his luck. He was doing like day labor at a construction site and shit. And then when he was cast, he still had to keep face in the picture as the next Doctor. And he's like, "Yep, that's what's happening." So ha. I think that would be one of the most like satisfying fucking job quittings ever. ever. It's like, I'm not doing fucking shit all in this construction site anymore. I'm the goddamn Doctor.
That would, yeah. Oh man. I really do wish I enjoyed the story more. I just kind of was a little bored.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, to be
Well,
honest with you,
like
Robot isn't really like held up as a classic. It's not
no, but
terribly fondly remembered. But I just like it because I
I
like
like
Baker.
and yeah, and I like the robot design, and there was stuff
Hmm.
I liked about it. It just
Um,
I wish I liked it more, not because it was bad or anything, but just because it is Tom Baker's first story.
yeah, well, to be honest with you, none of the well, no, never mind. That's a lie. I was gonna say none of the first stories are really all that good, but then no, Power of the Daleks and Spearhead from Space are really good. So never mind. Um,
And Unearthly Child.
well, the first episode's very good. The next three about
Oh
fucking
yeah, no,
cavemen
you're
are
right. I
terrible.
forgot. Okay, you're right. The first episode's awesome. The next three kind of suck.
The next three suck, and that's kind of a shame. Like if for people who are newer to the classic series and they want to watch through in order, they get an awesome premiere episode followed by 3 episodes of fucking caveman politics, until they're finally rewarded with some Daleks. And I've definitely seen it turn off, a couple of people that are like who watch Unearthly Child and they're like, oh god, is this what the classic series is going to be like? And it's like, no, not at all. I promise it gets better. But and then you hit the censor rights.
Jesus.
Christ. That's one other thing I want to bitch about. When near the very end, when the Doctor and Unit are assaulting that fucking bunker, where the robot has the computer to launch the nukes or whatever it is he's doing. Um, there's the robot grows giant, and they have like a tank roll up to fight it, and it's honestly the worst model I've ever seen in Doctor Who. It's terrible. It's literally just a little toy plastic fucking cheap tank you might find at a dollar store. It's the saddest thing, and the perspective isn't right at all because it doesn't make it look like the robot is giant and the tank is small. It makes it look like the robot is normal size and the tank is a toy, which it is, and it's awful. And the director, Christopher Barry, said, "We can't use this fucking tank. It's awful. We need a better model than this. We need to do it right." And Barry Letts, who is still the producer, this is his like final stint before the new production team came in, is like, "No, no, it'll be fine. Just fucking do it." Guess what? Chris was right. Barry, you fucked up. This is a
Done
terrible
did
television.
fucked up.
It's not that he didn't care. I mean, he was on the commentary and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? You were right all those years ago. This is terrible." Oh well.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about Robot. Do
No.
you?
I don't have anything else to
It's a
say either.
four-episode story too.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is probably going to be even shorter because we're going to be watching a two-episode story.
No, Ark in Space is 6.
Oh wait, I thought.
Santaran is the week after.
Oh okay. God damn you, fucking Wikipedia, telling me the wrong story was next.
I don't know what they're talking about, but they're wrong.
The
They're wrong.
Sontaran experiments, yeah, after the
Yes. So
space.
I assume you don't have anything audio related to talk about, do you?
Nope. No, I
Nope.
haven't. I haven't had any chance. I've been what was I doing? I don't know. I was being no, I was
Masturbating.
listening to other stuff. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Mark Maron's podcast lately, so
I've been listening to Sarah Jane audio. So those
that's
are
because
actually
they came in and you bought them.
yeah, but those are pretty good, and I like them. And actually, I was watching the Sarah Jane Adventures, like the show the other night, and they had an alien thing that like scanned her brain for her whole life, and I was ready to be all pissed off that there wasn't any classic series footage, but there was a ton of it, and it made me very happy that and kind of sad because I'm like, oh, that's from Time Warrior, oh, that's from Spiders, oh, that's Hand of Fear. It's like, and John's sitting next to me like, I hate you, I hate you, just shut up, I hate you.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway.
excited to finally watch Sarah Jane whenever we get there.
Absolutely. It's a quality show, despite being, for kids. It doesn't most of the time it doesn't sort of feel like crappy kids TV. It's just occasionally. Anyway, that's the end of this episode.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening, and we will be back next week with the Ark in Space.
That we will. Not
Hopefully
to
a
be confused
better.
with the Ark, in which those one-eyed faggots get a cold from Dodo, and everyone dies.
And then there's that Cyclops statue.
With a bomb in it, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucking stupid story.
Take them to the security kitchen. Oh.
All right, bye
All right.
everyone. Ah.